Item number 8, public hearings. We have 2 public hearings this evening. The first one is A, to hold a public hearing, waive the first reading, and introduce an ordinance imposing a 1.652% rate increase for Recology San Bruno garbage and recycling services to be effective July 1st, 2015, as presented in the notice of proposed garbage and organic program rate increase mailed to all property owners.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. The city's franchise agreement with Recology San Bruno allows for annual rate adjustments. A detailed rate analysis is prepared every 3 years, with the next one being scheduled to begin in January of 2016 with an effective date of July 1st, 2016. An interim rate year analysis is done in the other years, and this is an interim, we are in an interim rate year right now. There was some confusion. I noticed that some people were asking, didn't we just get a rate increase in January? And it's true we did, but that was not part of the annual rate increase. That was an extension or a part of the organics program. So it was a way to phase in the organics increase. Before you this evening is a proposed rate increase for Recology San Bruno garbage and recycling services of 1.652%. And just to kind of explain to you how that calculation is done, the interim rate year increase is a conservative calculation that takes 80% of the change in the area consumer price index for December. And to give you a little bit of an explanation, the actual increase was a little over 2% in the CPI, but the conservative increase is only 1.652%. So this takes 80% of that and blends that with the percentage increase for certain authorized pass-through expenses that are per the franchise agreement. Based on the proposed rate adjustment, charges for the 20-gallon residential toter will increase by 36 cents, and a 32-gallon residential toter will increase by 46 cents. This increase would be effective for bills produced after July 1st. At the March 10th council meeting, staff presented the proposed rate increase to the council, and council directed staff to proceed with a notification to all property owners in accordance with the notice and protest provisions of Prop 218. The written notice was mailed to all property owners on March 23rd, which began the 45-day protest period. To date, we received 53 written responses, and we did receive several signatures today, and staff is still in the process of validating these, but we'll go ahead and count all of them just to make sure that it's one per property owner or Recology account. Tonight, staff is recommending to hold a public hearing, waive the first reading, and introduce an ordinance imposing a 1.652% rate increase for Recology San Bruno garbage and recycling services to be effective July 1st, 2015. And I told her I wouldn't say her name because I don't want to say it wrong. So the general manager for Recology San Bruno is here tonight to assist us with any questions.
Good. Any questions for staff or for Recology at this time? All right, at this time we're going to open the public hearing. Would anyone like to address the council on this item? If we close the public hearing, you're going to be precluded from talking to us about this item going forward.
Move to close public hearing.
Second.
Motion and second to close this public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Action by the council or discussion?
Through the chair,
Ken?
I appreciate what Angela was explaining as far as what this increase is. A lot of the protest letters are just all over the place as far as increases, even though it is 46 cents, but it is annual, it is every year. So I was hoping if Kirsten could maybe for those public members, those residents, those ratepayers, give us a little more explanation on why we have an annual increase and what does that constitute?
Well, our rate application is done by our controller every year, and like Angela mentioned, we're entitled to 80% of CPI, and that's to cover increased costs that go up throughout the year. Disposal costs will go up, expenses do go up, so it's just a kind of an overview general percentage that we're allowed to recoup annually every year. So next year will be our interim rate year where we'll look at our costs and revenue more closely and make and provide the city with a more detailed rate analysis at that time.
Just out of curiosity, has it ever gone down?
In my 10 years I've been there, we've never seen a negative CPI.
Okay.
No.
All right, so based on CPI, because we have a robust economy and things are, things are doing well, costs are going to go up, and so, okay.
Anything else?
I did want to mention, too, I spoke to Kirsten about some of the written responses, and she said that Recology had reached out to some of those individuals to offer the 20-gallon toters. They looked at the accounts, and so they have contacted some of those customers.
Through the chair.
Rico?
And that was my question, so thank you for taking it. I know the question was, you said that you reached out to some, because a lot of this that I read, and I read each one of them, was a matter that we are recycling, we have very little waste. Also, my understanding still is the state law is that you have to have weekly. You cannot forego that, so that's not something we have jurisdiction over or ability to waive. But those that you, and I'm sure you'll have this information, is there an opportunity for your office to see, do they have the 20-gallon, and if they do not, and they were saying about their waste being minimized, but yet the cost still goes up, that option can be offered?
Yes, so we are sent all of the protest letters from the city manager's office, and we'll receive the balance that I guess came in today. And we do reach out, we read each of them individually, and I do address some concerns that residents did have, and we do reach out to each of those customers to let them know the 20-gallon is available, and if they compost and are recycling, then they definitely could manage to go to the 20-gallon. So we do offer that to them, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And if I could just do the math here, it's, the 20-gallon toter is $6.33 less
Correct.
each month. So that could be a significant savings for those people who can use a 20-gallon or don't even come close to filling up a 32.
Absolutely. The single individuals who compost and recycle at home definitely can manage in the 20-gallon. It is a 32 with an insert type of 20-gallon, and we do go over with them, do you compost, do you recycle, and if that all comes true, then we let them go ahead and try it, and they can always switch back if it's not working for them, or switch back in the summer if they have family visiting. So we do engage with them in a lengthy conversation when it comes to the 20.
Anything else?
Through the chair.
Michael?
Just one question. One of the letters that came in did mention that they had asked for a smaller gray bin and it wasn't available. So do you run out of those and you have to get more inserts, or are they generally available?
They're
for
generally
people?
available, so we're not sure what happened with that individual. We have left him a voicemail the day before yesterday when we got them, and we haven't heard back because he also asked for a smaller green, and we did have some of those available. So I'm not sure where the disconnect happened, but we're working to resolve his issue.
Okay. And the
quickly.
smaller green ones, what size are those?
Those are 32.
32.
They're really meant for the individuals with the very narrow alleyways, I guess we call them, on the side of the house. So we try not to encourage those because they can fill up if you're doing the yard waste and the compost, but we do have them available. And for the elderly community that has trouble with the bigger ones, we want them to be able to compost, so we do have those available.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Action by the council?
To the chair, I'll introduce a resolution. Or
Waive the first reading.
I've been here before. Move to waive the first reading.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second to waive the first reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I'd like to introduce the ordinance.
Councilmember Ibera.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Connell.
Aye.
Councilmember Medina.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Salazar.
Aye.
Mayor Ruane.
Aye.